The Forgotten. Chapter 1. Prelude. Amazon Jungle. 1579. The canopy swallowed the sky. No moonlight pierced the endless weave of branches. No stars dared shine through the suffocating green. The forest was alive, with whispers, the hiss of insects, the distant cry of birds, the rustle of unseen creatures. Yet beneath those natural sounds was something else, something wrong. A group of figures moved as one, their breaths ragged, their feet pounding the damp earth. Men, women, children, all dark-skinned, their eyes burning with an unnatural electric blue that glowed faintly in the gloom. Their garments shimmered with threads of light, fabrics that seemed woven from something beyond this world. They did not belong to this century, nor to this land. They ran, not from hunger, not from war, but from a presence that pressed against them like a storm. It began as a vibration, a low hum that seemed to rise from the soil itself, crawling up through their bones. The air thickened, bending sound into distortions that made the forest groan. A small girl, her eyes blazing with terrified blue light, screamed and clamped her hands over her ears. Her mother, without breaking stride, scooped her up, the strange fabric of her sleeve snagging on a branch. The men shouted, urging the group toward the river. "Faster!" one voice cried. "Do not look back." The vibration grew. It was not a roar, not a cry, but something deeper, a resonance that clawed at the mind. The slowest faltered, collapsing in agony. Shadows moved unnaturally among the trees, swallowing those who fell. Their screams tore through the ranks, and the survivors pressed harder, thinning with every step. The river was close. They could smell its damp breath, hear the faint lap of water against the shore. Canoes lined the bank, salvation waiting in silence. Then the air split. A figure stepped into the clearing, a woman, her hair white as starlight, her presence blazing against the dark. She did not run. She stood, facing the shifting silhouette that had followed them. The air rippled around her, bending, as if reality itself resisted her stance. The people stumbled into the canoes, men pulling women and children aboard, paddles striking the water in frantic rhythm. They did not look back. They did not dare. But some could not help themselves. Through the canopy, they glimpsed her, the white-haired guardian locked in combat with something vast and unseen. It was not beast, nor man, but shadow given form. A distortion, a hunger, a silence that devoured sound. The woman raised her arms, light spilling from her hands. The shadow recoiled, and where its form touched, the trees behind it aged, their bark cracking and falling to dust in an instant. The clash was not of flesh, but of forces, unseen currents tearing through the air. And then it came a burst of brilliance so fierce it blinded the river, silencing the jungle in an instant. The canoes drifted into darkness. The forest calmed. The whispers of insects returned. The cries of birds resumed. The survivors did not speak. They rode deeper into the river, their eyes wide with terror, their hearts heavy with the knowledge that the forest had kept it secret. Chapter 2. A New Day. Present Day Year, 2025. The alarm clock ticked softly in the corner, though Jordan had been awake long before it sounded. He lay on his back, staring at the ceiling of his small room in San Jose, the morning light filtering through half-drawn curtains. His heart beat with a restless rhythm. Today was not just another day. Today was the first step toward the life he had dreamed of. Jordan swung his legs over the side of the bed. His feet touched the cool wooden floor, grounding him. He was tall, lean, with shoulders that carried both youth and expectation. His skin was dark, smooth, and his eyes, electric blue, startling against his complexion, caught the light as he glanced at the mirror. They were the eyes that had always set him apart, the eyes that drew whispers and questions he could never answer. His room was modest, lined with books stacked in uneven towers, maps pinned to the walls, and notebooks filled with sketches of ruins and artifacts. A poster of Professor Bridgewater, his idol, hung above the desk, a reminder of the man whose work had inspired Jordan since childhood. Today, he would finally meet him, not as a student in awe, but as an apprentice at Stanford University, just a short drive north. He dressed carefully, a crisp shirt, worn jeans, and a jacket that had seen better days. He wanted to look professional, but also comfortable enough for the long hours he knew awaited him. As he tied his shoes, he caught his reflection again. His eyes glowed faintly in the morning light, and for a moment, he felt a strange pull, as if something unseen was watching. He shook it off. Today was about archaeology, not family mysteries. The smell of breakfast drifted up the stairs, warm and inviting. He descended quickly, his nerves easing with each step. At the table, his mother was already bustling, setting plates with practiced grace. His father sat at the head, calm and steady, while his brother leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, eyes sharp. "Good morning," his mother said, her smile soft but knowing. "Eat well, Jordan. You'll need your strength." Jordan slid into his seat, trying to hide the excitement in his voice. "It's my first day. I still can't believe Professor Bridgewater accepted me." His father nodded, his expression unreadable. His brother smirked. "Don't get carried away. Not everyone who digs in the dirt finds treasure." Jordan ignored the jab, focusing instead on his mother's words. She leaned closer, her voice dropping to a gentle tone. "Come home early tonight. I'm making lasagna your favorite. We'll celebrate properly." Jordan's chest warmed. Lasagna was more than food. It was tradition, comfort, a reminder of family ties. He smiled. "I'll be here. I promise." His father's gaze lingered on him, heavy, with something unspoken. His brother's eyes narrowed, as if measuring him against a law Jordan had never fully understood. But his mother's smile anchored him, reminding him that, for now, he was simply a son beginning a new chapter. Jordan finished his breakfast quickly, nerves and excitement pushing him forward. As he rose from the table, his mother touched his arm. "Remember who you are," she said softly. He nodded, though the words carried more weight than he wanted to admit. Outside, the morning air was crisp, the campus waiting. Today, Jordan would step into the world he had always dreamed of. Yet somewhere deep inside, he felt the faint echo of the forest, a vibration he could not name, a shadow he could not see. Chapter 3. The Artifact. The drive north from San Jose to Palo Alto was short, but Jordan felt every mile as a step toward destiny. The campus buzzed with life as he arrived, students rushing between classes, voices echoing across the quad. He carried his bag tightly, the weight of expectation pressing against his shoulders. Inside the archaeology lab, the air smelled faintly of dust and old paper. Professor Bridgewater stood at the center, tall and commanding, his glasses perched on his nose. When he saw Jordan enter, his expression softened, the stern lines of his face easing into something closer to pride. "Jordan," Allen said, his voice warm, almost tender. "I'm glad you're here. Today isn't just another day for you. It's the beginning of something important. You've worked hard for this, and I couldn't be prouder." Jordan felt his chest tighten, the weight of those words settling over him. "Thank you, Professor. I'll do my best." Allen smiled, the kind of smile that carried reassurance. "I know you will. Curiosity and patience, those are your greatest tools. And remember, mistakes aren't failures. They're steps toward understanding. I'll be here to guide you." He gestured toward a long table at the center of the room. Upon it lay a cloth-wrapped object, small but oddly heavy. Allen pulled back the covering, revealing a piece of bluish-gray metal. Its surface shimmered faintly, irregular in shape, as though torn from something larger. Symbols and writing etched across it glowed faintly under the lab lights. Allen lifted the fragment carefully, then placed it in Jordan's hands. His voice softened even more. "This was found deep in the Amazon. No one knows who made it or how. I want you to study it. Take your time. Listen to it. Sometimes artifacts speak, if you're patient enough to hear." Jordan's fingers traced the symbols. They were unfamiliar, yet something about them stirred recognition. His pulse quickened. "It feels different," he murmured. Alan's eyes warmed, pride flickering there. "Different can be good. Trust what you feel, Jordan. That instinct of yours, it's part of why I chose you." Jordan looked up, startled. "You chose me?" Alan nodded gently. "Of course. You remind me of myself when I was your age. Eager, searching, restless. But you have something more. A spark." Jordan swallowed hard, the artifact's warmth pulsing against his palm. For the first time, he felt not just like a student, but like someone entrusted with a legacy. Jordan set to work immediately. He ran tests on the metal, expecting to find traces of iron, copper, or some alloy, but the results came back blank. No known element matched its composition. It was as if the fragment had come from somewhere beyond Earth. He turned back to the writing. At first, the symbols resisted him, twisting into nonsense. But as he focused, a strange clarity seeped into his mind. The lines rearranged themselves, forming meaning. He felt as though the writing was speaking directly to him, bypassing language altogether. Then he heard it. "Jordan?" The voice was soft, melodic. He blinked, pulling himself back to the lab. A young woman stood at the doorway, her dark hair falling in waves, her eyes bright with curiosity. She carried a stack of notebooks under one arm. "I'm Leila," she said, stepping forward. "Alan assigned me to work with you. Linguistics, hieroglyphics, dead languages, that's my specialty." Jordan straightened, suddenly aware of how tightly he was gripping the artifact. "Jordan," he said, offering a smile. "Apprentice. First day." Leila's gaze flicked to the metal in his hand. "That's the piece, isn't it? The one from the Amazon?" He nodded. "It's strange. Warm, almost alive." She tilted her head, intrigued. "Artifacts don't usually flirt back, you know." Jordan laughed, the tension easing. "Then maybe I've finally found someone who understands me." Leila smirked. "Careful. I'm fluent in 6 ancient languages. I might just translate your jokes into something embarrassing." Their eyes met, and, for a moment, the lab felt less like a place of dust and silence, and more like the beginning of something alive. Jordan placed the artifact gently on the table. "Want to help me figure this out?" Leila leaned closer, her shoulder brushing his. "That's why I'm here. Let's see what secrets it's hiding." As they bent over the bluish-gray fragment together, Jordan felt the warmth of the metal seep into his skin, and the warmth of Leila's presence seep into his heart. Chapter 4. The Clue. The lab was hushed, the kind of silence that carried weight. Dust floated in the shafts of light spilling through tall windows, and the bluish-gray fragment lay between Jordan and Leila like a secret waiting to be spoken. Jordan had exhausted every test he could think of. The machines hummed, spat out results, and each time the answer was the same. No match, no iron, no copper, no alloy known to Earth. It was as if the fragment had been forged in the heart of a star. He rubbed his temples, frustration gnawing at him. "We've been at this for hours, and nothing makes sense. Everything we know about metallurgy says this shouldn't exist." Leila didn't answer immediately. She was bent over the artifact, her fingers tracing the etched symbols with reverence. Her eyes narrowed, lips pressed tight in thought. Jordan leaned back, watching her. "You look like you're about to wrestle the writing into submission." She smirked faintly. "Maybe I am. Sometimes you have to fight with a language before it gives up its secrets." Jordan chuckled. "Remind me never to argue with you in Spanish, then." Leila glanced up, her eyes glinting. Jordan raised his hands in mock surrender. "Noted. I'll stick to English." Her smile softened, but then her expression grew serious. She tapped the edge of the fragment. "I've seen these before. Not exactly these, but something close. When I was in Egypt, I spent weeks at the Bibliotheca Alexandrina Library of Alexandria. I was researching lost languages, obscure scripts, forgotten symbols. There was a book, Spanish, Oddly enough, Las Lenguas Perdidas del Mundo Antiguo, the lost languages of ancient world. It cataloged fragments of languages no one has ever fully translated. And I swear, Jordan, some of these symbols were in that book. Jordan's pulse quickened. You're sure? Leila leaned closer, her voice steady. Positive. It struck me then as strange, but now it feels like more than coincidence. Jordan stared at her, stunned. For hours, the artifact had been a puzzle without edges, a riddle without a question. Now, at last, they had a clue. Then we need to tell Alan, he said. Leila tilted her head, studying him. You look relieved, almost like you thought we'd never find anything. Jordan laughed softly. I was starting to think the artifact was mocking me. Then you walk in, and suddenly it decides to talk. She arched a brow. Maybe it likes me better. Jordan grinned. Wouldn't surprise me. Everyone does. Leila rolled her eyes, but her smile lingered. Careful, Jordan. Flattery might get you a translation, but it won't get you out of the hard work. Jordan shrugged, lifting the fragment carefully. Its warmth pulsed against his palm, almost like a heartbeat. Then let's go show Alan. Maybe he'll finally stop pacing holes in his office floor. Together, they carried the fragment to Alan's office. The professor was bent over a stack of papers, his glasses perched precariously on his nose. When he saw their faces, he straightened immediately. Well? He asked, eyes sharp. Leila spoke first, her voice steady. Professor, I've seen these symbols before. In Egypt, at the Biblioteca Alexandrina, a book called Las Lenguas Perdidas del Mundo Antiguo. It contained similar markings. If we can access that text again, we might be able to cross-reference and translate. Alan's expression shifted from skepticism to delight. He rose from his chair, pacing the room. Excellent. Excellent. At last, a thread to follow. You've done well. Jordan felt a surge of pride, though the warmth of the artifact in his hand reminded him that this was more than academic. It was personal. As Alan settled back into his chair, Jordan asked casually, Professor, how did you come into possession of this artifact? Alan hesitated, then folded his hands. It was given to me by a man of considerable wealth and influence, Edward Roberto Gonzalez. Jordan frowned. The name sounds familiar. Alan nodded. Owner of Zenith Aerospace, billionaire, philanthropist, visionary. He has funded expeditions, research, even space exploration projects. But he also has unconventional interests. He acquired this piece through one of the black market auctions. Illegal, of course, but such things happen when artifacts defy explanation. Leila's eyes widened. He bought it illegally? Alan's gaze hardened. Yes, and when he realized its composition was unlike anything on Earth and its symbols resisted translation, he sought me out. He believed I could uncover its secrets. Now, with your discovery, perhaps we can. Jordan tightened his grip on the fragment. The warmth pulsed against his skin, almost like a heartbeat. He thought of Edward Gonzalez, a man powerful enough to buy secrets from the shadows. Why had he been so interested in this artifact? Alan's voice broke his thoughts. You two have given me hope. Continue your work. If this book holds the key, then we must find it. And quickly. Jordan exchanged a glance with Leila. Her smile was small but certain, a spark of triumph in her eyes. For the first time, Jordan felt they were not just apprentices, they were explorers, standing at the edge of something vast and unknown. Chapter 5. Shadows on the Road. Professor Alan Bridgewater leaned back in his chair, fingers steepled, eyes gleaming with excitement. Jordan, Leila, pack your bags. You're going to Egypt. Jordan blinked. Egypt? Alan nodded. The Biblioteca Alexandrina. If Leila's memory is correct, that book may hold the key to deciphering the artifact. I've arranged for a local guide. Amon El Masri. He'll meet you at the airport, take you to your hotel, and show you around. You'll be safe in his hands." Leila's lips curved into a smile. "It will be fun to be back in Egypt. I love that place. The history, the libraries, the feeling that every stone has a story. I can't wait to return." Alan's gaze shifted to Jordan, his tone firm. "Take the artifact with you. If there are more clues, you'll need it." Jordan glanced at the bluish-gray fragment resting on the desk. Its warmth pulsed faintly, as though it had heard Alan's words. He swallowed hard. Understood. Jordan left the university with the artifact wrapped carefully in cloth, tucked into his bag. The late afternoon sun painted the campus in gold, but his thoughts were already racing ahead. Egypt, the library, the symbols. He slid into his car, started the engine, and pulled onto the highway. For a while, the drive was uneventful. But then, a strange feeling crept over him. The hairs on his arms rose, his chest tightened. Nothing unusual, just cars, headlights, the rhythm of traffic. Still, the feeling persisted. He exited the highway, turning sharply. In the mirror, a black SUV made the same abrupt turn. Jordan's pulse quickened. He tested it. He wound through side streets, doubling back, taking unnecessary turns. The SUV followed, always at a distance, never too close, never too far. At a red light, Jordan stopped. The SUV idled several cars back. The signal turned green. He didn't move. Horns blared behind him, drivers shouting. He waited, eyes locked on the mirror. The light shifted to yellow. In an instant, Jordan slammed the accelerator, veering right. The SUV lunged forward, but the light snapped red, trapping it behind a wall of cars. Jordan sped through the streets, weaving until the city swallowed him. When he finally slowed, the SUV was gone. He exhaled, gripping the wheel. Whoever they were, they had been watching, and they wanted the artifact. At home, the warmth of family replaced the chill of suspicion. His parents greeted him at the door, smiles easing the tension from his shoulders. "Where's my brother?" Jordan asked, setting his bag down. "At his friend's house," his father replied. Studying late, his mother touched his arm gently. "Dinner is ready. Freshen up first." Jordan nodded, forcing calm. He didn't mention the SUV. He didn't want them to worry. Later, at the table, the smell of roasted vegetables and fresh bread filled the air. His mother placed a steaming dish before him, her eyes shining. "Lasagna's tomorrow night," she said warmly. "Your favorite. We'll celebrate before you leave." Jordan smiled, though his mind was elsewhere. "I need to go to Egypt. Research work. I'll be gone about 2 weeks." His father's brows furrowed. "Is everything all right at the university?" "Yes," Jordan said quickly. "Everything's fine. This is just important." His mother's eyes softened. "Then go. But promise you'll be careful." "I will." They ate together, the clink of cutlery against plates filling the silence. His father spoke of discipline, his mother of family, his brother's absence, a quiet reminder of the tension that always lingered. After dinner, Jordan packed carefully. Passport, cash, clothes, and the artifact, wrapped tightly in cloth. He paused, staring at it for a long moment. Its warmth pulsed faintly against his palm, as though reminding him that the journey ahead was more than research. It was destiny. Chapter 6. Departures. Jordan pushed back his chair after dinner, the warmth of lasagna still lingering on his tongue. He was about to head upstairs to gather his bags when his father's voice stopped him. "Let me drive you to the airport," his father offered, his tone steady, but tinged with concern. Jordan smiled faintly, shaking his head. "Don't worry, Dad. I'll order a cab. You should rest." Before his father could reply, Jordan's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen. Leila. He answered quickly. "Hey!" Her voice was bright, urgent. "Have you left for the airport yet?" "Not yet," Jordan said, slinging his bag over his shoulder. "I'm about to." Let's meet at the Emirates ticket counter. 1. Offers of life. End quote. Perfect, she replied. I'll see you there. Jordan hung up, ordered a cab, and turned back to his parents. His mother touched his arm gently. Safe travels, Jordan. Call us when you arrive. I will, he promised, forcing calm. He didn't mention the SUV that had shadowed him earlier. Some secrets were better kept. The cab arrived, headlights cutting through the San Jose night. Jordan hugged his parents, then stepped into the car. As the city lights blurred past, he felt the weight of the artifact in his bag, its warmth pulsing faintly against his side. San Jose Mineta International Airport. The cab pulled up to the terminal, and Jordan paid the driver before stepping into the bustle of San Jose Mineta International Airport. Travelers hurried past, voices echoing in a dozen languages. He found the Emirates ticket counter and settled in to wait. 15 minutes later, Leila appeared, her stride confident, her eyes lighting up when she spotted him. Jordan, she called, weaving through the crowd. He smiled, relief washing over him. Glad you made it. Together, they booked their tickets to Egypt. The flight would leave in 3 hours, giving them time to breathe. Coffee? Leila suggested. Definitely, Jordan replied. They found a barista in the airport lounge, ordered 2 coffees and a plate of pastries, then settled into a quiet corner. Leila cradled her cup, steam curling upward. So, tell me about you. Where are you from? San Jose, Jordan said. Born and raised. My parents are both African. But... He hesitated, then chuckled. Sometimes I wonder if I'm really their biological son, Doc. He said. Leila tilted her head, intrigued. Why do you say that? Jordan leaned back, his eyes glinting with humor. Well, we share the same skin, sure, but my eyes, electric blue. My features, they don't match theirs. I don't look like them at all. Sometimes I feel like I was dropped into their lives from somewhere else. Leila smiled knowingly. I noticed that the first time I saw you. You don't have the typical African traits. I thought maybe you had mixed blood. But there's something more. Something different. Jordan laughed softly, though her words struck deeper than she knew. Different. That's one way to put it. Leila sipped her coffee, her gaze steady. Maybe that difference is why you're here. Why you're connected to this artifact. Some things aren't accidents. Jordan looked down at his bag, feeling the warmth of the fragment even through the cloth. He swallowed, forcing a smile. Maybe you're right. Jordan leaned forward, curious. What about you? Why linguistics? Why archaeology? Leila's eyes softened, her voice taking on a reflective tone. I grew up in Cairo. My father is a historian, my mother a teacher. Books were everywhere in our house. My father used to take me to the old libraries, the museums, the ruins. I remember standing in front of hieroglyphs as a child, staring at them for hours, wondering what secrets they held. It felt like they were whispering, but I couldn't understand. She paused, smiling faintly. I have one younger brother. He's more practical engineering, machines, things you can touch and measure. But me? I wanted to chase the voices of the past. I wanted to give them words again. Jordan listened intently, his coffee forgotten. So, you became a linguist? Leila nodded. Languages are bridges. They connect us to people who lived thousands of years ago. Archaeology gave me the chance to use those bridges to stand in the dust of ruins and hear echoes no one else could hear. That's why I joined Alan. He believes in uncovering not just artifacts, but meaning. Jordan smiled. That's beautiful. You make it sound like a calling. Leila's eyes glowed. It is. And Egypt is home. I love the chaos of Cairo, the Nile at sunset, the smell of spices in the markets. But I also love the silence of ruins, the way the desert holds secrets. That's where I feel most alive. Jordan leaned back, impressed. You know, I thought I was passionate about archaeology, but listening to you, you make me feel like I'm just starting to understand what it means. Leila laughed softly. Maybe that's why we're here together. You bring instinct, I bring language. Between us, maybe we'll finally hear what this artifact is trying to say. Jordan was about to reply when the sensation returned. Stronger, a whisper in his head, faint but insistent, as though someone was calling his name from far away. He stiffened, scanning the crowd. Leila noticed immediately. "Jordan, what's the matter?" He forced a smile, rubbing his temple. "Just a migraine. I'll be fine." But inside, doubt gnawed at him. Was he hallucinating? Was the artifact affecting him somehow? He pushed the thought aside, unwilling to alarm her. A few tables behind, the hooded man sat silently. The hood shadowed his scar, a jagged line running from his left eye to the base of his chin. His gaze flicked repeatedly toward Jordan and the bag at his side. The man's phone buzzed softly. He typed a single message, "Target located." Moments later, the intercom crackled overhead. "Passengers for Emirates Flight 927 to Cairo, please proceed to the boarding gate." Leila drained the last of her coffee. "That's us." They paid for their refreshments, gathered their luggage, and made their way to the gate. Security checks passed without incident. Though Jordan's unease lingered, he glanced over his shoulder more than once, but saw nothing unusual. The long flight was uneventful. Jordan tried to sleep, but the warmth of the artifact in his bag seemed to pulse against him, keeping his mind restless. Leila, seated beside him, read through her notes on ancient scripts, occasionally glancing at him with quiet concern. When the plane finally descended into Cairo after nearly 20 hours, Jordan felt both exhausted and exhilarated. The desert sun blazed through the airport windows, casting everything in gold. Immigration checks completed, they stepped into the arrivals hall, where a man waved at them enthusiastically, Aman El-Masri. He introduced himself in broken English, his smile wide. "I am your guide. Welcome to Egypt." Leila returned the smile warmly. "Thank you, Aman." Aman led them to a waiting car. Leila dropped her luggage into the trunk, and as Jordan bent to place his own bag inside, the sensation returned sharp, undeniable. He lifted his head, scanning the crowd. There, the hooded man. For a brief moment, their eyes met. The scar was visible now, cutting across his face like a brand. Jordan's pulse quickened, but before he could react, the man turned away, slipping into a cab that pulled off into traffic. Jordan hesitated, then shook his head. "Maybe I'm imagining things." He placed his bag in the trunk and climbed into the car. Aman proved to be a lively guide. As the car wound through Cairo's bustling streets, he spoke with enthusiasm. "Egypt is full of wonders," he said. "The pyramids, the museums, the markets, finest trinkets, finest spices. If you need anything, I can arrange it. You tell me, I make it happen." Leila chuckled. "You sound like you know everyone in the city." Aman grinned. "Maybe I do." Jordan listened, half distracted. The city outside was alive, vendors shouting, children running, the scent of roasted meat and spices drifting through the air. Yet beneath the vibrancy, his unease lingered. They arrived at a modest but comfortable 3-star hotel. The lobby was bright, the staff welcoming. Jordan and Leila booked 2 rooms adjacent to each other, then headed upstairs to freshen up. Neither noticed the hooded man across the street, watching from the shadows. He pulled out his phone, typed another message, and sent it without hesitation. Reach destination, following target.
To watch the next episodes of The Forgotten, please like and subscribe to the channel. To subscribe, please click on the bell icon.